Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmiltam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahaguna Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Namo Vishnu Padaya.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine.
Namaste.
Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Did I miss anything, Prabhu?
No. So, we have got questions, huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, why should we chant on the beats and not on counters? Yes? The spiritual master is giving you counters or giving you beats?
This is a question that we got in some of our Bhagavad Gita calls from new joinees.
From where?
From new devotees in the calls.
New devotees. Huh? So, the Goswamis and everybody, Prabhupada, all chanted on beats, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Acharya Upasanam. The Bhagavad Gita, it is said, you must try to follow in the footsteps of the Acharyas, no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Not that you do what you like, no? Correct? See? It is what?
Acharya Upasana.
Approaching the spiritual master. Yes? Approaching a bona fide spiritual master and following. Approaching means following his instruction, no? Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Unless you follow Jaya Pataka, then I don't know. He's giving the counters, no?
Oh, really, Prabhu?
I don't know. He's chanting on the counters. I don't know now whether he's chanting or not. Difficult to
Some
say,
people in ISKCON, what they're saying is 16 rounds we are doing on beads, and all extra rounds we are using counters.
Oh, maybe because they are going to work or something, no?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes,
So why not do extra on the rounds also? Because if you're touching the Tulasi Mala is given by the Guru to you, no? Correct? Very sacred, no? So you use the mercy of your Guru. So why you want to go into the mechanical thing, counter? And plus, if when you count, you stop halfway, then you continue again. For as the beads, if you stop halfway, you have to restart again, no? That doesn't happen in the counter, correct? So I guess for me, I think I want to do what my Guru has given me, no? You want to use your counter, that's your choice. But I think touching Tulasi and chanting is very important. Yes? I don't see anybody in the parampara having a counter. Is there any picture of someone with a counter?
No, Prabhu.
Huh?
No.
Who are the Siddhas, Caranas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, serpents, Kinnaras, Apsaras, and where do they reside?
Before we go to that, one follow-up question. Should the beads be in a bead bag always, or can we chant without the bead bag?
But sometimes you can take the beads and put on your neck, no?
Because I remember somebody in ISKCON Bangalore long time back, they were saying when you are chanting, the bead should not be seen by others. I don't remember the exact reason they gave. Is there something like that?
I don't know, I never heard that.
Yeah.
You keep in the bead bag for being clean, no? That's all I know. It's not that you keep in the bead bag to hide it or something. I never heard that. Prabhupada is chanting on the beach, you can see, correct? Yes, have you seen picture of Prabhupada chanting with the beads? Hello?
Yes, Prabhu. We have seen the picture.
So, I don't know why they say like that. I don't think that is very authoritative. As long as you chant with the beads.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes? Is it okay? Any more questions? So many questions. Huh?
We can go to the next one.
All right. Who are the Siddhas, the Caranas, the Gandharvas, the Vidyadharas, the serpents, the Kinnaras, the Apsaras, and where do they reside? Because you have to go to the 5th canto. You can see here in this verse. In this verse you can see it shows their position, where they are situated, who is higher than who. In this verse here, so anyone want to read this?
Of two energies manifest, spirit and dull matter. Beings possessing living force, vegetables, grass, trees, and plants are superior to dull matter, stone, earth, etc. Superior to non-moving plants and vegetables are worms and snakes, which can move. Superior to worms and snakes are animals that have developed intelligence. Superior to animals are human beings, and superior to human beings are ghosts because they have no material bodies. Superior to ghosts are the Gandharvas, and superior to them are the Siddhas. Superior to the Siddhas are the Kinnaras, and superior to them are the Apsaras. Superior to the Asuras are the demigods, and of the demigods, Indra, the king of heaven, is supreme. Superior to Indra are the direct sons of Lord Brahma, like King Daksha, and supreme among Brahma's sons is Lord Shiva. Since Lord Shiva is the son of Lord Brahma, Brahma is considered superior, but Brahma is also subordinate to me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because I am inclined to the Brahmanas are best of all.
So you see the breakdown, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
So one by one, they are all in a higher level of their planets, you know. Like from here, human being is Earth, higher than the human being, about 800 miles above it goes. And then above them, higher than that, they have the Gandharvas. And then higher than them, they have the Siddhas on the Siddha Loka. Then above the Siddhas, you have the Kinnaras. And superior to them are the Asuras. Asuras usually stay down. And then higher than the Asuras are the demigods who are in different planets, you know, Indralok, Chandralok, like that. And then of them all, the king of heaven is the highest. And higher than Indra is Brahma, and higher than Brahma is the sons of King Daksha, Marichi, and all that, you know.
Prabhu, the Siddhaloka and all, it's in the material realm or
It's
spiritual?
all inside this, nothing in the spiritual world. This is all material world here. You
But
understand?
Siddhaloka, it comes in which loka, Prabhu?
That 4 lokas are there, right? Brahma loka, Satya loka, Jana
Satyaloka,
loka,
Tapaloka,
Tapaloka.
Janaloka, and Maharloka. Siddhaloka is not there, no?
Siddha Loka is Loka where they are perfected beings, they got mystic power, you know. You understand?
Okay.
Sometimes the words may not be there, you know. You understand?
Okay. And what is,
So,
are these all part of the 8.4 million species?
yes.
Okay. And any specific purposes of these people, Prabhu?
They have higher, their karma, no? According to your karma, you take birth in the higher planets, no? You understand? So some of you are put there, someone are put in the demigod, some are put in the demons, some are put in the apsaras. There's so many living entities all over the world, no? I mean, universe, correct? So in that way, everything is placed accordingly, no? According to your, suppose you are in the mode of goodness, then you go higher, but if you are mixed, you know, then you go maybe more goodness and more this, then you go to another planet. Understand? Huh? So all these things are elaborately explained in the Bhagavatam. Can read this also.
O King, know from me that all living entities are created by the Supreme Lord according to their past deeds. The living entities include Brahma and his sons like Daksha, the periodical heads like Vaivaswata Manu, the demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Varuna, the great sages like Bhrigu, Vyasa, and Vashishta, and inhabitants of Pitraloka and Siddhaloka, the Charanas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas, Asuras, Yakshas, Kinnaras, and angels. The serpents, the monkey-shaped Kimpurushas, the human beings, the inhabitants of Matloka, the demons, Pishachas, ghost spirits, lunatics, and evil spirits, the good and the evil stars, the goblins, the animals in the forest, the birds, the household animals, the reptiles, the mountains, the moving and standing living entities, the living entities born from embryos, from eggs, from perspiration, and from seeds, and all others, whether they be in the water or on land or in the sky, in happiness, in distress, or in mixed happiness and distress. All of them, according to their past deeds, are created by the Supreme Lord.
So you can see here.
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is how the whole thing, according to the past deed. You see this verse here? Yeah. Accordingly, they are placed in different bodies by karmana deviga netrena, by the arrangement of the Lord, no? You understand?
Yes,
Hello?
yes, Prabhu.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, Prabhu.
So if you like to go to any of them, you please, you can worship them and you can go there.
No,
Huh? Maybe you like to go there and open a temple, ISKM branch. Huh?
yes.
Huh?
Sure.
Yes.
Love the Lord.
How do we know if we are progressing in Krishna consciousness? How do we know? This question was asked to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada replied that if you can follow the 4 principles and chant 16 rounds, that means you know you are making spiritual advancement. If you can chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 principles, that means yes, you are making progress.
Okay, Prabhu.
You understand? You cannot follow the 4 principles and chant 16 rounds, then you can take it that you are having problems. Yeah? So in order to do this, you need to be connected to the spiritual master and you need to get the strength from the spiritual master through Krishna and Balaram. Yes? I think I showed you the verse, no?
Yes, bro.
Yeah, you know which verse is that?
Strength.
So here it says here in this verse, you want to read this?
Anybody would like to lead? Arun Prabhu?
Prabhu, I'm driving, Prabhu.
Oh, okay. Patanjali Prabhu?
As long as one has to accept a material body with its different parts and paraphernalia which are not fully under one's control, one must have the lotus feet of his superiors, namely his spiritual master and the spiritual master's predecessors. By their mercy, one can sharpen the sword of knowledge, and with the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead mercy, one must then conquer the enemies mentioned above. In this way, the devotee should be able to merge into his own transcendental bliss, and then he may give up his body and resume his spiritual identity. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord says, Janma karma me divyam evam yo vitti tattvataha takta deham punarjanma naimam eti soarjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. O Arjuna, this is the highest perfection of life, and the human body is meant for this purpose. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The human form of God is a most valuable boat, and the spiritual master is the captain, Guru Karnadaram, to guide the boat in flying across the ocean of nescience. The instruction of Krishna is a favorable breeze. One must use all these facilities to cross over the ocean of nescience. Since the spiritual master is the captain, one must serve the spiritual master very sincerely so that by his mercy, one will be able to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. A significant word here is Achyuta Bala. The spiritual master is certainly very merciful to his disciples, and consequently, by satisfying him, a devotee gets strength from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says that Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. One must first please the spiritual master, and then one automatically please Krishna and gets the strength with which to cross the ocean of nescience. If one seriously desires to return home back to Godhead, one must therefore become strong enough by pleasing the spiritual master. For thus one gets the weapon with which to conquer the enemy, and one also gets the grace of Krishna. Simply getting the weapon of Jnana is insufficient. Must sharpen the weapon by serving the spiritual master and adhering to his instructions. Then the candidate will get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In general, warfare one must take help from chariot and horses in order to conquer his enemy. And after conquering his enemies, he may give up the chariot and its paraphernalia. Similarly, as long as one has a human body, one should fully use it to obtain the highest perfection of life, namely going back to God, back home, back to God. Perfection of knowledge is certainly become transcendentally situated. As Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na sochita na kankshati samasarvesh bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. One who is transcendentally situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward all living entities. In that state, he attains pure devotional service. Simply by cultivating knowledge as the impulse to do, one cannot get out of the clutches of Maya. One must attain the platform of bhakti. One can understand the Supreme Personality as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Unless one has attained the stage of devotional service and the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, there is a possibility that one may fall down again and again and accept a material body. Therefore, Krishna stresses in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha taktva deham punarjanma naitimam et sahajana. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. The word tattvataha, meaning in reality, is very important. Tato mam tattvato gnatva. Unless one understands Krishna in truth by the mercy of the spiritual master, one is not free to give up his material body. As it is said, material clutches simply by knowledge. Even if one attains the stage of Brahmapadam, merging in Brahman, without bhakti, he is prone to fall down. One must be very careful in regard to the danger of falling down again into material bondage. The only insurance is to come to the stage of bhakti, from which one is sure not to fall. Then one is free from the activities of the material world. In summary, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one must get in touch with bona fide spiritual master coming in the parampara of Krishna consciousness. For by his mercy and instruction, one is able to get strength from Krishna. Thus, one engages in devotional service and attains the ultimate goal of life, the lotus feet of Vishnu. Significant in these words are the words Gnanasim Achyuta Bala, Gnanasim, the swords of knowledge, is given by Krishna. And when one serves the Guru and Krishna in order to hold the sword of Krishna's instructions, Balarama gives one strength. Balarama is Nityananda. Vrajendra Nandanaye Sachi Suta Haila Se Balarama Haila Nitai. This Balarama comes from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And both of them are so merciful that in this age of Kali, one may very easily take shelter of their lotus feet. They come especially to deliver the fallen souls of this age. Papi Tapi Yata Chila Hariname Udarila. Their weapon is Sankirtana Harinama. Thus, one should accept the sword of knowledge from Krishna and be strong with the mercy of Balarama. We are therefore worshipping Krishna Balarama in Vrindavana. In the Mukunda Upanishad, it is said, one cannot attain the goal of life without the mercy of Balarama. Sri Narottama Das Thakura therefore says, Nitayera Karuna Habe Vraje Radha Krishna Pada. When one receives the mercy of Balarama, Nityananda, one can attain the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna very easily. If one has no connection with Nitai, Balarama, then even though one is a very learned scholar or gnani or has taken birth in a very respectable family, these assets will not help him. We must therefore conquer the enemies of Krishna consciousness with the strength received from Balarama.
So this is how you understand, because if you get the strength from Guru and Krishna, you please the Guru, then you get strength to follow the principles and chant. Yes?
Yes.
But if you don't have the strength from Guru and Krishna, then how are you going to chant your rounds? Follow the 4 principles? Correct. This can be seen. Many people are also vegetarian, but they cannot be very strict vegetarian. They sometimes have to eat eggs and they eat all this all onion and garlic and all this stuff, no? You understand? Why they cannot become strict?
They don't have strength.
What's that?
I'm looking for Mataji.
Mahaprabhu is, where are you coming from?
To help in the kitchen.
Huh?
To help in the kitchen, cut vegetables.
Go to the 4th floor.
4th floor. Okay, thank you.
So that is the main thing, because without strength, you cannot fight Maya. That's why Devi is a guna Maya, Mama Maya Turatyaya, That verse, right? 7:14. Only by surrendering to Krishna, then you can get the strength to overcome Krishna's Maya. Yes? To get strength, you need the Guru also. You cannot just try to get strength from Krishna directly,
Yes, Prabhu.
See here in this verse, says very clearly, my dear Uddhava, I am personally the ultimate shelter and way of life for sanely liberated person. And thus, if one does not engage in my loving devotional service, which is made possible, you see this word? By associating with my devotees, then for all practical purpose, one possesses no effective means for escaping from material existence.
Yes.
You understand? So you need Guru. Without Guru, you cannot go to Krishna. And you cannot go to Krishna, you cannot get the strength to fight Maya. When you cannot fight Maya, that means you cannot follow the 4 principles and chant 16 rounds. You understand? So this is why we are different from all the so-called vegetarians and vegans and all these guys. You understand? They cannot follow. Although they claim to be vegetarian and all that, they cannot just follow. You understand? That's why it says, unless you are Krishna conscious, you cannot overcome Krishna's Maya. That's not possible. See, it says here, one possesses no effective means of escaping from material existence. Not possible. You understand? Are you following?
Yes,
So if you want to know how you're making progress, then you must be able to give up meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and chanting 16 rounds a day.
Prabhu, follow up to that. This Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says that one cannot obtain Krishna in Goloka Vrindavana simply by serving the Lord according to regulative principle.
Can you bring me the verse?
I don't know verse. I just copy some of the points. So it says that the word angry.
Okay. What? What is that?
Angry Padma Sudha means associating intimately with Krishna. One can attain such perfection only by spontaneous love of God. One cannot obtain Krishna in Goloka Vrindavana simply by serving the Lord according to regulative principle.
But the point is this, that we going to the spiritual world is only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
And Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give Krishna prem.
Right, Prabhu.
Understand? That's why this is, of course, you cannot go with just following the rules and regulations, because Krishna, he wants spontaneous love. You follow?
Correct.
So because of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the shortcut for you.
Okay.
You understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming to give Krishna Prem. Krishna Prem is not in the Goloka, then where is it? Huh? Followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has got a special blessing. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Bidayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Gauratishi Namaha. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So therefore, those who follow Krishna with all the rules and regulation, Krishna doesn't give devotion very easily. You know that verse I showed the last time?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes?
Yes.
He keep it hidden. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he broke that and he gave freely to everybody and anybody. That's why I said in the last class that if you don't accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then forget it. You cannot do it.
Yes.
Understand?
Yes,
You
Prabhu.
can see, I give you examples. There's so many people who are supposedly following, some kind of religious thing, but they cannot give up onion, garlic, coffee, tea, who knows, eggs also. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
They cannot be strict. They go and get the strength. Understand? That's why there's now the verse. Balaram hoilo nitai. Correct?
Yes.
Yata chilo Balarama hoilo nitai. So you get Balaram, Nityananda Prabhu and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is the one who got bala, no? Strength, no? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
That's why this special blessing for us, we have been introduced to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And if you don't want to take Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, then what can we say? Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
I have explained. All these people chant Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and go home and drink coffee, tea, and onion and garlic. Huh? Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Simple thing they cannot do. Then they say, oh, what is that little onion only? What? Little onion? Correct? But this is the problem, because they are not connected. So if you want to know how you're making progress, this is the measurement. If you can give up, yes. You follow? Just like many of you were even in the Hare Krishna, you were also in some groups here and there. But until you came to ISKM, your sadhana was not really very fixed up. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Why? Because you're connected. You understand? You follow? Unless you're connected, you cannot get strength.
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
correct. See, if you're not connected, then you compromise. Chocolate is okay. After all, the people in the temple, they don't eat, no, but we all are householders, we can have, no, chocolate, no, correct?
We never read Prabhu. I was like, when I read Prabhupada's books, I stopped eating. But in temples
Yeah,
also they give. I've seen that, like in temples.
yeah, because they're not connected.
In ISKCON they give.
Yes, they're not connected. Yes, you understand? A person who is connected will never cross the line, whatever the Guru says.
Mm.
I think in Tamil there's words like that, no?
Mm.
What is that? Koda, klicha koda, tanda,
Yeah, like
some.
Bharat.
I'm not so good in Tamil, but I heard my mother say that.
Yeah.
That is where Ram, Lakshman draw the line, you cannot cross. Yes.
Yes, true.
So similarly, the line that our spiritual master has drawn, we cannot cross.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
So try to understand this. Unless we are strict, how we can make progress? To become strict, we must have strength. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
correct.
Mm.
You saw how Bhakti Siddhanta at a young age, he took one mango and the father chastised him. The whole life he did not eat mangoes.
Yes.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
How? Because this is how acharyas, they show by example how to become strict.
Mm.
Yes?
Yes, true.
So we should be very careful. That is how we get strength and that's how we make progress. If you don't get strength, then how to do it?
Prabhu, some of the devotees in the other camps, their husbands are, both of them are initiated, husband and wife, but husband is seriously following all the things. But wife, due to some reasons, they will just tell some reason and they don't chant even 16 rounds and they're not even keen about that. How do we?
That
And
means they are not serious, no?
hmm,
What to do? That means
before
they're not.
marrying them, they were so serious. They were very serious. And after marriage, because they are serving into the wrong camps, they're all completely stopped chanting. I mean, not completely. They chant, but they don't chant 16 rounds.
Because they're not having proper association, no? Correct?
Mm. Yes, true.
Yes or not?
Mm.
That's a symptom. It's a symptom of not advancement is that you are compromising with your rounds.
Mm.
Understand? You cannot chant 16 rounds. Why you cannot chant 16 rounds? Because you're not following, you're not having strength.
Mm.
Especially if you eat contaminated food, then you cannot chant.
Mm.
Understand? So we have to be very careful.
Mm.
If you don't chant 16 rounds, then how you going to get the mercy of Guru?
Mm. Mm.
Yes?
Yes.
You don't chant, Prabhupada said, you don't chant 16 rounds, then you are animal.
Mm.
You're animal then, Prabhupada said. If you want to become an animal. Oh, that's why Prabhupada said, many of my disciples will end up in the heavenly planet.
Oh.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hello. You can call later. So you can see how Prabhupada said, many of my disciples will end up in the heavenly planets.
Mm-hmm.
Why did he say that? Huh? Because this is the problem. They have this enjoying spirit. Yes?
Yes, true.
So, okay, is that clear?
Yes, true. Very clear.
Huh? One who wants to progress. I mean, what is this?
By
One who
mistake.
wants to progress in Krishna consciousness not wear gold at all. Is my understanding correct? No. Prabhupada had gold rings on his fingers. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Prabhupada, someone gave him a gold ring, he took it and put in his finger. So we are not against gold, but we are against using gold for sinful activities. That's what we are against. Understand? Gold actually means also in the Bhagavad means money, you know. The more you amass money, then you want to do sinful activities. You understand? But if you have gold and we are using it is for Krishna service, then what's the problem?
No, but usually Indians, they wear it for ornamental decoration.
Yeah, the woman must have gold on her body, otherwise not auspicious.
Okay.
So she should be looking, Prabhupada says, she should be very nicely ornamented so she can, please her husband. Understand? Correct?
Sure, bro.
You should not look, a woman should be very nicely ornamented. But the man, if he's a householder, there's no wrong with it. Even Prabhupada had gold on his hand, so what's the problem? Huh? You understand? And mostly those renounced person, they don't want to do it. But I don't see why the woman, she should not wear. Huh? Correct?
Yes, true.
As Prabhupada said, we don't want any ugly gopis. Huh? Okay, now we go to the next one. 1, 2, 28. What is this? 1, 2, 28?
Srimad Bhagavatam.
'28 and 29. Oh, Vasudeva Param. Okay, this verse. So what about this verse? What is meant by the word enjoyer in the sentence? He is the original eternal enjoyer among all other enjoyers. So this is where it is. Bhaktaram yagya tapasham sarvaloke maheshwaram suhedam sarvabhutanam gyantva mam shantim richati. He is the supreme enjoyer, the beneficiary. Clear? A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me, the ultimate benefactor. Huh? Yes? Is the ultimate benefactor and ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifice and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material misery. I mean, he is Sachidananda Vigraha, no? Yes? Huh?
Yes, Guru.
He is the supreme enjoyer. There's another verse here.
Prabhu, what is actually meant by the term enjoyer? I mean, is he enjoying the fruits of the sacrifice only? Because not everybody is actually sacrificing or remembering Krishna in all their deeds. So how does he enjoy everything?
I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifice. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. You understand? Krishna is Purusha. Purusha means the one who enjoys. And we all are Prakriti, meant to be enjoyed. You understand? Hello? Because he is the boss, no? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. He created everybody for his pleasure. Like a king. The king enjoys, but because everybody is in the palace, they also enjoy because they have to serve the king. Yes? Hello?
Yes, Prabhu.
Does he understand what is he's driving?
No, I do, Prabhu, but when the statement says that he's the supreme enjoyer among all enjoyers,
Yes.
what does that term mean in that sentence?
He is God, no? Everything comes from him, no? He's the source of all pleasure also, right?
Right.
Yes or not? All pleasure, Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. Yes, all happiness comes from him. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. But if a demigod is enjoying,
Demigods, yeah, in the material world, there's temporary enjoyment. I don't say no enjoyment, but that enjoyment is temporary. Whereas with the Lord, it's eternal enjoyment. Two different things. You understand? Now in the material world here, you also enjoying, but your enjoyment is limited. Correct? Let's say eating. Yeah, you enjoy eating, but after a little while, you don't want to eat anymore. Stop. Yes?
yes, Prabhu.
Correct? So everything in the material world is limited. Whereas everything in the spiritual world is avyakta, unlimited. You see? It says here again, in this verse, Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramit Idamuttamam Pratyachakavagaham Dharmyam Susukam Kartamavyayam. Say this word here, Susukam. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secret, is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct possession of the self by realization, it is perfection of religion, it is everlasting, and is joyfully performed. So the pleasure that is coming from knowing or associating Krishna is the eternal pleasure. You understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
That's why the sages, they don't want to go to this temporary pleasure because it's got a beginning and an end. You see here, this in this verse, the intelligent person does not take part in sorts of misery which are due to contact with the material senses, O son of Kunti. Such pleasure have a beginning and an end, so the wise man does not delight in them. You understand? So
Yes,
he
Prabhu.
wants to get pleasure within. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. And that's what we are asking everybody to go and enjoy with the Lord. When you try to enjoy separately from the Lord, then there's temporary happiness, little happiness and a lot of misery.
So if a jiva is not Krishna conscious, if he's enjoying separately from the Lord, Krishna is not deriving any happiness from him. He's not enjoying the jiva.
In this material world, every materialist desires to achieve happiness and diminish his distress, and therefore he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activity for happiness, his condition of distress begins. This is the material world. Understand? Whereas here we are teaching how to chant. The moment you chant, then you are happy all the time. Hello?
Yes, Prabhu. So, Prabhu, if a person is not Krishna conscious, he's not chanting, he's a materialist.
Yes.
Krishna is not enjoying him, and thus he is in distress.
Yes.
If Krishna,
he may get little pleasure, but little pleasure, as his word shows, no. And then distress is coming, no. Correct?
Right.
That is material world. So if you want to enjoy your senses, the end result is misery. You understand? You get frustrated. Why you want to go there and do that? Yes, you can enjoy your senses, but how long? Yeah, how long?
But if a person is not Krishna conscious, how is he being enjoyed by the Lord, Prabhu? Even if he is the instrument in the hands of Maya.
No, non-devotees cannot go to the Lord. That's not possible. They have nothing to do with the Lord. It's taken care of by Maya. Okay, non-devotees have nothing to do with Krishna. They are with Maya.
Yes,
understand?
How is Lord then enjoying the Maya of the non-devotees? I mean, is he also enjoying the Maya?
Why the Lord have to enjoy the thing of a non-devotee? The Lord is self-sufficient. He's enjoying by himself, He doesn't require. You understand?
Yeah, I understand now. Okay.
So why you need this non-devotee? Non-devotees are suffering. Until they come to Krishna, only they will enjoy. You follow? Just like take your life. Before you became Krishna conscious, were you happy?
No.
Yeah, that's precisely. Until you contact the Lord, then only all your miseries is finished. Understand?
Right.
That is the purpose. The moment the living entity comes in contact with the Lord, then see, the real problem in life is repetition, birth and death, which is like a wheel rolling repeatedly up and down. The wheel, however, completely stops when one is in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, by the transcendental bliss realized from constant engagement in devotional service, one is completely liberated from material existence. All learned men know this. Therefore, my dear sons, folks, my dear friends, or sons of the Asura, immediately begin meditating upon and worshipping the super soul within everyone's heart. So when you contact the Lord, yes, your misery is finished.
So here the misery is referred to as the fourfold miseries or miseries of everyday life.
Yeah, they've got three miseries. Miseries by your mind, miseries by other people's mind, miseries by the demigods. And this way you're always in suffering, no? Even you want to be quiet, others won't be quiet, correct?
Right.
So why you want to be in this suffering? Why don't you come out? That's what Krishna is telling. Correct.
Okay, I understand that now. Okay.
You understand? We are burning in this material world. I mean, listen, how old are you now?
I'm 38, bro.
38. 38 years, you not realize how much headache this place is?
Yeah, just starting to wake up.
Very good. Because of contact of devotees only, you can wake up. Otherwise, you cannot wake up.
Yes, bro.
Yes. So I think it is clear there. What is meant by Lord's energy, superior and inferior? Superior energy is the spiritual energy, and inferior energy is the material energy.
Right, but why is it called? I mean, why is it called inferior though?
Because Maya is inferior in a sense that it is not spiritual energy; it's temporary. Understand?
So, but Lord's energy is so in that way it is not permanent. The inferior energy is not permanent, right?
Not permanent. Material world, it's always subject to destruction. Okay. It's created for some time, it stays there for some time. There's some byproducts, and then it grows old, dwindle, and finally dies. That's the material energy.
But Prabhu, I had a question with that. If the inferior energy is non-permanent,
yes.
How can Lord's energy be anything be non-permanent, even if it's his energy that is in the material world?
It is not that non-permanent. It is in a sense that it is manifested and unmanifested.
Okay.
You understand? It is manifested, and then when the living entity is doing all their thing, and then he winds it up. You understand?
Okay, bro. Yes.
Then again he manifests it. That's his energy. But the spiritual energy is eternally ever existing.
Correct.
So the moment the spirit soul get covered by Maya, then he loses his understanding, is finished. And he goes through the cycle of birth and death, continuously suffering.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So
inferior
that
is
is
based
it.
on the manifestation. That's why it's called superior and inferior. Okay.
Yes, the material energy is Maya, and it is always deluding the living entity to go away from Krishna. You understand? That is the material energy. Just like this, the example is given, like the ocean, the shore, and the land. So inferior energy is the ocean, and the spiritual energy is the land, and the living energy are marginal, they are on the shore. Sometimes they get covered by water, sometimes they're not covered by water, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, so these are the three energies. So material energy is, Krishna says, come out of Maya because it is repeated birth and death. Material energy is like this. This is material energy. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to three modes of nature, thinks himself as a material product and thus undergoes, you see this? Material miseries. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So why you want to go through misery? You like miseries?
No, Prabhu.
Then you are a spiritual person. Why you want to be covered by Maya?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
That's intelligent. If you are intelligent, you won't want to do that. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, this is again another verse spoken by Uddhava. Yes, see this verse. My dear Uddhava said, my dear Krishna, generally human beings know that material life brings great future unhappiness and still they try to enjoy material life. My dear Lord, how can one in knowledge act just like a dog, ass or a goat? Huh? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So why you want to be like this? You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, what is the next question? 1-2-33, is it? 1-2-28. I think I finished it. I have done that. Okay, 1-2-33. Why does the subtle mind and gross body have desires to enjoy when the soul, which is superior, then both is originally full of bliss and does not desire? You see, there's a moment I explained this now,
Yes, Prabhu. But in
That's
that verse,
only,
Prabhu,
I just
in that
showed
verse,
that verse. I just showed the verse, no?
yes, Prabhu. But in that verse, Prabhu, the verse says that the soul doesn't have any desire. It's a subtle mind and the body. But subtle mind and body are servants of the soul anyway, right? They're inferior to the soul. So how do they have?
See, you first have to understand that the soul, when it's covered by Maya, understand? When it's covered by Maya, it got three modes of mental nature, and according to the modes, you have the gradation like this. Let's see, yes. See this? The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. You understand?
Good.
But, I'll show you another place here. Explain that more clearly. In this verse, give me a minute. So this is what it is. Yeah. So this is the verse here, you see, spoken by the Lord. Lord Krishna said, the material mind of man is shaped by the reactions of fruitive work. Along with the five senses, it travels from one material body to another. The spirit soul, although different from this mind, follows it. Because why? It is covered by Maya. Understand?
Yes, Prabhu. But Prabhu, the desire part, the desire is mostly a soul's desire, right? I mean, we desire to serve Krishna.
See, like this, I'll give you a simple example. When your senses act with sense object, correct?
Right.
When the senses act with the sense object, then there's the desire come, no? Yes or not?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
So it is action of the senses with the sense object. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
That's how the desire comes. And when the desire comes, this is what happens. Give me a minute.
But the desire comes from the mind or subtle body or the soul, Prabhu? That
The mind is the chief of the senses. That's not explained. When the senses act with the sense object,
yes,
then the desires is coming. Correct?
From where, Prabhu? Desires come from where?
By the contact of the senses with the sense object.
So desires are arising in the soul?
They are inside your heart, no. All these desires are situated in your heart, no. Kamam hridrogam. Lust is situated in your heart. You follow?
Okay, the material heart, the subtle heart.
Yes.
Okay.
Inside your heart, all these anarthas are there, no? That's why you have to clean your heart, of all these dirty things.
Okay, Prabhu.
While contemplating the object of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. And from attachment, lust develops. You see this?
Yes, Prabhu.
So that's why you have to learn how to control the mind. You cannot let the mind act with the sense object. When the mind is acting with the sense object, then attraction comes. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu. So it comes in the subtle heart. When the contact is happening, it's come. Okay.
Yes, it's all in your heart, no? That's why the whole idea is to purify the heart, no?
Okay, Prabhu.
Understand? So we must know why this is happening. So we have to, when the mind is so therefore we have to see, I show you this. So when the senses, one accept material sense object as desirable, that means when you see, let's say, the form of a woman and you desire that, correct? Then lust will come into the heart, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
One who accepts material sense object as desirable certainly become attached to them. From such attachment, lust arises, and this lust create quarrel among men.
Yes, Prabhu.
You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
And then you go in that direction further. From quarrel arises intolerable anger. You quarreling, angry, followed by that, you get darkness of ignorance. This ignorance quickly overtakes a man's broad intelligence. That means intelligence is lost. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
And when your intelligence is gone, oh saintly Uddhava, a person bereft of real intelligence is considered to have lost everything. Deviated from the actual purpose of life, he becomes dull, just like a dead person. Yeah?
Yes, Prabhu.
You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Because of absorption in sense gratification, one cannot recognize himself or others. Living uselessly ignorance like a tree, one is merely breathing just like a bellow. That's what happens.
Yes,
Huh?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm.
So basically, Prabhu, desires are arising in the subtle body.
It's all in your heart, you know, because of so many lives you have taken. You understand?
So
So
heart,
this heart, in your heart, is the sitting place of all these lusts.
so when you say heart, Prabhu, I'm actually confused. Heart in the sense of the subtle heart, the soul, or the body, Prabhu? Which?
Your heart, inside your heart now, these subtle things are inside, seated in their heart.
Okay, Prabhu.
You understand?
The same place
Where the soul is also, yes.
Okay, okay. Okay, now I understand. Okay.
Yeah?
Okay, Prabhu. Now I can connect. Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
You can see here, the senses, the mind and intelligence are the sitting place of this lust.
Hmm.
Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entities and bewilders him.
Hmm.
Understand this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
Ah. So all this are actually sitting beside your soul, you know.
Okay.
Understand? Kamam hrit rogam. Kamam is lust. It is the disease of the heart. Why disease of the heart? Because that's a sitting place.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
So we need to purify our heart, bring the soul back to Krishna, then this lust will disappear.
Yes, Prabhu.
You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Is it clear now?
No, it is clear, Prabhu. I was trying to track the different layers covering the soul, but I was confused. Where does the desire actually arise in? Does it arise because soul is Satchidananda? So where does it actually arise?
The desires come with the senses acting with the sense object.
Okay.
Understand? Before you see a beautiful woman, you don't have the desire. The moment you see her, you are attracted, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Then you want to talk, you want to touch, you want to do so many things. Okay? Will one thing lead to another? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
That's how the desires are developing. The moment you attack to Maya, then the desires all come.
Yes, Prabhu. That makes sense, Prabhu. Now it's clear, actually.
That's why we are told not to, go look at all these things, then you will be affected. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Then you have to learn how to have intelligence. You see the woman, if she's so beautiful, how much more Krishna will be, who created this. The moment you bring Krishna in, then the lust is no more there.
Yes, Prabhu.
Understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, any more questions? No more, huh?
No, thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.
Any more questions? Hello?
Prabhu, I have a question. So last week we talked about the doer, Prabhu. Who is the doer? So if I go and hit a person, isn't that I am doing, Prabhu?
What's that again?
If I go and hit a person.
Then you are thinking you are the doer.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is why we have to learn to understand that I am not the doer. I am going to speak, correct? Yes, I am seated in the heart. You follow? Although I am doing the action, but you must understand, it's all are carried out by the modes of material nature. So if a person understands that he is not a doer but servant of Krishna, then he will use the action to serve Krishna. You understand my point?
Repeat that, Prabhu, one more time, please.
If you are using the body to serve Krishna, correct?
Yes.
Then you know this action is meant to please Krishna.
Yes.
But you use the body to enjoy it, then you are implicated. So this body is a vehicle. You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
You follow? And the driver is the, of course, the mind, the intelligence, and the ego, as now we read. You know, the soul is sitting inside. If he wants to drive this vehicle to enjoy it, then he's implicated. Correct? And how he drives it? Because of his desire, then the Lord makes arrangement. I'm the super soul sitting along the living entity. I am the witness and I'm the permitter. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
You desire to go and talk to the person. Carry out this action, the Lord has to help you, no?
Oh, I see. Yes, Prabhu. Correct.
Yeah, you cannot do yourself. How you can do? Listen, you put food in your mouth. You don't know how it goes and works. Do you know?
I don't, Prabhu.
So who is managing it?
Lord and
So a devotee understands that. That's the difference between devotee and non-devotee. Understand?
yes,
So
Prabhu.
whenever the devotee does something, he understands this is actually the mercy of the Lord and Guru. You understand?
Yes.
Non-devotee, they take the credit. Oh, I did it, you know. That's why Krishna says someone who thinks like that is a fool. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right?
Correct, Prabhu.
This was very famous, huh?
The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by permitted nature. Okay. Yes.
Understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
So we want to get purified. We want to do activities for pleasing Guru and Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
That's the difference. You follow?
Yes, Prabhu.
You don't engage yourself, you don't engage this body in Krishna's service, then you will be engaging this body in Maya's service. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
And you'll be implicated.
Yes,
You
Prabhu.
understand this point? Is it clear?
Very clear, Prabhu.
Any other questions?
And also, Prabhu, we talked about Trunadapi Suni Chena, the 6 prayers, Prabhu. Very humble and meek, tolerant, and so is that. So is that, it's not just with the devotees. Every person I see, I have to behave like that, Prabhu?
Well, you have to always be having that humility, understand that you are a fallen person, but with the non-devotees, you don't be a fool, no? You understand? Prabhupada said with the non-devotees, you must be like a lion, and with the devotees, you must behave like a lamb. You understand?
Okay,
so humility must be there with the devotees. With the non-devotees, you become humble, they will, there's a story I showed the last time about the snake, no? That Narada Muni made him a devotee. You know the story?
Oh, snake, it doesn't want to
fight anybody, and then, everybody was attacking him and throwing stone and all that, no?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
I think I showed the story, right?
Yeah, I remember that story.
So that is what then the Narada said, you must pretend to bite, then they will run away. Yes?
Right, yes.
Yes, so we will read it again for those people who don't know. So yeah, in this story about how the snake became a devotee. Okay, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Dhruva.
Where was it? Unfortunately, here. This is the story.
Yes, Prabhu. By Narada, a short story in this connection about a snake who.
No. Let me get up to it. Okay, Dhruva Maharaj here.
Yes, Prabhu. Dhruva Maharaj becoming angry with the miscreants was quite appropriate. There is a short story in this connection about a snake who became a devotee upon instruction by Narada, who instructed him not to bite anymore. Since ordinarily a snake's business is to fatally bite other living entities, as a devotee he was forbidden to do so. Unfortunately, people take advantage of non-violence on the part of the snake, especially the children who began to throw stones at him. He did not bite anyone, however, because it was the instruction of his spiritual master. After a while, when the snake met his spiritual master, Narada, he complained, I have given up the bad habit of biting innocent living entities, but they are mistreating me by throwing stones at me. Upon hearing this, Narada Muni instructed him, don't bite, but do not forget to expand your hood as if you are going to bite. Then they will go away. Similarly, a devotee is always non-violent. He is qualified with all good characteristics, but in the common world, when there is mischief made by others, he should not become angry, at least for the time being, in order to drive away the miscreants.
Understood?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, this is how we should behave. You follow?
Got it, Prabhu.
So we should be humble, because without becoming humble in our insight, thinking ourselves fallen, then we cannot make advancement.
Yes, Prabhu.
Understand?
Yes,
If
Prabhu.
we think that we are very advanced devotee, then we will fall down.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
The more and more we are humble, the more and more we make advancement.
Yes, Prabhu.
Huh?
Yes, Prabhu.
That's why we must always reflect on our past, where we were, what we were doing, That way we will understand that what kind of a rascal we are.
I see.
Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
You understand?
Yes, Prabhu.
Any other questions?
Yeah.
Somebody has put his hand up.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. So, as you said, about the lusty desires of the human beings. So, after becoming devotee, how many years it will take for us after chanting to get rid of these lusty desires?
Well, it takes time, until your heart is free from all lust. Difficult to get the taste, become fixed up in devotional service. It says here in this verse, in this verse, first you see anartha nirvritti means dirty things in the heart get cleaned out, and then you get fixed up, and then you get taste, ruchi, then you get attraction for Krishna. So like that it goes, one thing after that you get love for God. So how long, when, that depends on you, how much your heart is becoming free. Then how to get free? You must follow the rules and regulations given by the spiritual master. Yes, you must practice devotional service in an unfailing manner. Then you can cross over the modes.
Yes, Prabhu.
You understand? If you don't do that, then how to make progress?
Yes, Prabhu. And then again, why this material is so strong? even though a devotee wants to get out from here, it's so tough to get out the entanglement and to give up everything. After serving Krishna, we have the taste of serving him. But at the same time, to give up the material desires and the material life is so difficult because of the attachments or whatever the reasons. But although he realizes he could not give it up.
That's why he is praying to Krishna to save him. That's why he is praying to Guru and Krishna to save him. You understand? Maya is not lightweight, no. You follow?
Yeah, Guru is very strong.
Yeah, so to go above the modes, you have to be very strict in your sadhana, correct? Yes or not?
Yes, Prabhu.
We cannot space out. You think by doing some flip shot thing you can come out. That's not possible.
The mistakes we have done before coming to the Krishna conscious life are still it's like a chain reaction. It will go on and on. Like after we get married and then we got children, we got entangled to that. It is kind of a spider web. It is never going to detach, although we want to get detached from it. Unless until they get married, still I have those responsibilities.
Yes. It is very tough to come out, Explain here. You want to read this?
Yes, Prabhu. How can a person who is most affectionate to his family, the core of his heart being always filled with their pictures, give up their association? Especially a wife is always very kind and sympathetic and always pleases her husband in solitary places. Who could give up the association of such dear and affectionate wife? Small children talks language very, very pleasing to hear, and their affectionate father always think of their sweet words. How can he give up their association? Once elder parents and
One elderly parents and one's sons and daughters are also very dear. A daughter is especially very dear.
I am on my mobile, so I'm not able to see it properly.
Yeah, maybe because of your mobile, huh?
Yeah.
I'll read it, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Shobha, one second, Prabhu. Shobha is going to read. Shobha, you want to read?
How can a person who is most affectionate to his family, the core of his heart being always filled with their pictures, give up their associates? Specifically, a wife is always Specifically, a wife is always very kind and sympathetic and always please her husband in a solitary place. Who could give up the association of such a dear and affectionate wife? Small children talk in broken language, very pleasing to hear, and their affectionate father always thinks of their sweet words. How could he give up their association? One's elderly parents and one's sons and daughters are also very dear. A daughter is especially dear to her father, and while living at her husband's house, she is always in his mind. Who could give up that association? Aside from this, in household affairs, there are many decorated items of household furniture, and there are also animals and servants. Who could give up such comforts? The attached householder is like a silkworm which weaves a cocoon in which it becomes imprisoned, unable to get out simply for the satisfaction of the two important senses, the genitals and the tongue, one is bound by material conditions. How can one escape?
Yes. Yeah. How can one escape?
My dear Lord Krishna, until people become your devotees, their material attachments and desires remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feelings for their family members remain foot shackles.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. I don't want to frighten you, but this is all from the Bhagavatam, you know. I mean, we are all thinking that, you know, our family is the most important thing. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
We think that this is all it is. Correct?
Yes.
I'm telling you again and again and again. Try to understand. This whole thing is Maya. But is Maya is so powerful, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Where one who is too attached to family life becomes disturbed at heart. Like the pigeon, he tries to find pleasure in mundane sex attraction. Busily engaged in maintaining his own family, the miserly person is fated to suffer greatly along with all his family members. The doors of liberation are opened wide to one who has achieved human life. But if the human being simply devotes himself to family life, like the foolish bird in this story, then he is to be considered as one who has climbed to a high place only to trip and fall down.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
That doesn't mean that we should not be, you know, doing our family duties. That's not a fact. But we should learn how to do without, you know, attachment, no? You follow?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Prabhu, bringing them to Krishna consciousness is the best solution, right, Prabhu? We can engage them also in the service of the Lord.
That's the only solution. There's no other solution, no.
Mm-hmm.
Explain here. Says here in this verse. All right. Can you read this?
Nikhilesh Prabhu, can you read?
Sure, Mataji. One in the Grihastha order of life should daily worship the sages by Vedic study, the forefathers by offering the mantra Swada, the demigods by chanting Swaha, all living entities by offering shares of one's meals, and human beings by offering grains and water. Thus, considering the demigods, sages, forefathers, living entities, and human beings to be manifestations of my potency, one should daily perform these 5 sacrifices.
Of course, you chant Hare Krishna is including in all this. You know, you chant Hare Krishna, all these 5 already included.
Okay. A householder should comfortably maintain his dependence either with money that comes of its own accord or with that gathered by honest execution of one's duties. According to one's means, one should perform sacrifices and other religious ceremonies.
Yeah, we talk about sacrifice means chanting Hare Krishna.
A householder taking care of many dependent family members should not become materially attached to them, nor should he become mentally unbalanced, considering himself to be the Lord. An intelligent householder should see that all possible future happiness, just like that which he has already experienced, is temporary. The association of children, wife, relatives, and friends is just like the brief meeting of travelers. With each change of body, one is separated from all such associations, just as one loses the objects one possesses in a dream when the dream is over.
We see here, all this relative friend is just like a brief meeting of travelers when we go to some airports or some, some transport terminals. We all meet, and then when the bus comes, everybody go on to different destination. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
That is how our family members all are. So if you don't do that, you don't engage everybody in Krishna's service. Can you read on?
Sure. Deeply considering the actual situation, a liberated soul should live at home just like a guest, without any sense of proprietorship or false ego. In this way, he will not be bound or entangled by domestic affairs.
So see, we should learn how to live like a guest. Guest means what? Yeah, not the owner, the host.
A householder devotee who worships me by execution of his family duties may remain at home, go to a holy place, or if he has a responsible son, take sannyasa. But a householder whose mind is attached to his home and who is thus disturbed by ardent desires to enjoy his money and children, who is lusty after women, who is possessed of a miserly mentality, and who unintelligently thinks everything is mine and I am everything, is certainly bound in illusion. Oh, my poor elderly parents, and my wife with a mere infant in her arms, and my other young children. Without me, they have absolute no one to protect them and will suffer unbearably. How can my poor relatives possibly live without me? Thus, because of his foolish mentality, a householder whose heart is overwhelmed by family attachment is never satisfied. Constantly meditating on his relatives, he dies and enters into the darkness of ignorance.
Yes.
Prabhu, one question. So, what is the duty of us towards our parents?
Teach them how to chant. Yes.
And what is our duty in their old age? Do we have any duty, or when? So what is
you have to see, if you have to teach them how to become a devotee. You understand? You want to save them, the only thing you can do is make them to become a devotee. Yes?
Yes, sir.
If you keep maintaining them and you don't teach them about Krishna, then you are actually at fault. Correct?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes or not? If you
Yes,
must definitely teach them how to become a devotee. That is the purpose of everyone. Huh?
And like in their old age, and if they are in bedridden, so what is our duty? So we have to take care of them, or what is the Shastra says about it?
Shastra says, yeah, old people you must take care. Nobody say you cannot take care. Take care means what? At least there must be somebody to look after them, no? Correct? Whether you maintain them by finance or you, some or other you have to help, no? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Because if you don't take care, then who's going to look after them? or you arrange for some relatives to be there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Practical, no? Yes? Nowadays it's difficult. They're old and you cannot bring them to your place, and then they are all alone there. They are, they're not incapacitated, and how to do, correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
So it's a very challenging thing in Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga. That's why if they chant, then Krishna will arrange everything.
Yeah, my
That's
father
it.
chants, Prabhu. He chants.
So that's all. If you chant, then you don't have to worry already. You follow?
My father chants, and when Srila Prabhupada came to Hyderabad, Reddy College, and when he was building Pulla Reddy has donated the land. At that time, he attended his classes actually.
Oh, that's good. So now you revive his
Yeah,
spiritual life, huh?
maybe because of that tinge of Krishna consciousness came to me.
Fortunate to see a pure devotee, no?
Yeah.
Yes. So you encourage him, huh?
Yeah.
If you can play the chanting of Prabhupada tape,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
That is the best you can do, no? Correct.
Yes, Prabhu.
The time of death, the only thing is to hear the holy name of the Lord, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
So you make sure you can do that for him.
Yes,
That's
Prabhu.
the best thing you can do. Yes?
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
That is the best duty, to make him remind him of Krishna. Ante Narayana Smriti. Janmalabha Parapumsham Ante Narayana Smriti. So that is the duty of the children, to help them to remember Krishna. Because at the time of death, everything will fail, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
And this is the verse I quote all the time, is it? This is the verse. Elevated demigod, at the time of death, severe unbearable pain takes away the consciousness of all living entities who have accepted material body. Don't you know about this pain? So unless you become a devotee, no, then you are free from this thing. You want to read this?
Me, Prabhu? Yes. This was so because those who have dedicated their lives to the transcendental topics of the personality of Godhead, of whom the Vedic hymns sing, and who are constantly engaged in remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, do not run the risk of having misconception even at the last moment of their lives.
Is that purport?
The highest perfection of life is attained by remembering the transcendental nature of the Lord at the last moment of the life. The perfection of life is possible for one who has learned the actual transcendental nature of the Lord from the Vedic hymns sung by a liberated soul like Sukadev Goswami or someone in that line of disciple succession. There is no gain in hearing the Vedic. There is no gain in hearing the Vedic hymns from some mental speculator when the same is heard from the from an actual self-realized soul and is properly understood by service and submission. Everything becomes
transparently clear.
Transparently clear. Thus, submissive disciple is able to live transcendentally and continue to end of life by
Scientific, carry on.
scientific adaptation, and one is able to remember the Lord even at the end of life. When the power of the remembrance is slackened due to dearrangement of bodily membranes. For a common man, it is very difficult to remember things as they are at the time of death. But by the grace of the Lord and his bona fide devotees, the spiritual masters, one can get this opportunity without difficulty, and it was done in the case of Maharaj Parikshit.
Yes. So therefore, constant training every day doing is very important. Correct?
Yes, Prabhu.
You don't do seriously, how to get the strength? Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Any other questions? How to come out of this Maya, material responsibilities, which is obstruction in Krishna consciousness? Is that a question?
No, Prabhu,
That's
it's
all,
all
Prabhu,
done.
just for putting in the chat for everybody.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess I have deeply wasted your time. I'm very sorry.
No, Prabhu.
No.
It's seriously our fortune to have your association, Prabhu. We are so thankful to ISKM and yourself.
I don't know. I'm just showing you what I can remember. So I guess we have come to the end of our session. Huh? Oh, Vijay Kishore is also there.
Yeah, I guess.
Yes. Wow, next time you can do the class.
It just so happened that I was a little bit free this time, so I joined because I've been missing the other classes. Even on Friday, I was not able to join. So the week feels very empty without listening to your classes.
I don't know if all the school